Welcome everyone to the Everydayman.net, the everyday conversation for the everyday man. I'm your host, Cordero Hicks, my co-host Kendall,
Yo.
and we're here to review the new Netflix series, which actually dropped, caught everybody by surprise. Now, usually trailers,
You said series?
well, it's a series. It was not a series, it's a movie. And I'm gonna tell you what though, it actually caught everybody by surprise, yo. Because usually, you get a trailer telling you when the movie's coming out. Usually like 2 or 3 months out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no, not this movie. This Netflix dropped a trailer during the Super Bowl that said it'll be out after the game. Now, who does that?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's like nobody knew that shit was coming.
Who else can do this besides Netflix? So the movie we talking about is Cloverfield Paradox. Okay, the third installment of I guess at this point you can maybe call it an anthology because I heard it was actually another one coming out, and I had the name, and I forgot exactly what it was, but they already got the name for it and everything supposedly. So we gonna watch the trailer for Cloverfield Paradox, and we'll be back with our review.
Whatever you're doing, stop.
And that's all they gave us, yo. They gave us about 30 seconds and said coming out after the game, pretty much. That's what he told us. And it really caught a lot of people by surprise. Now, I didn't watch the whole movie. Kenna watched the movie, so I'm gonna let you do your thing. But it's starring now the main character. I don't have no idea what her name is.
Me neither.
Um, but it also starring David Oyelowo, if I said that last name right. And I'm gonna try it. It's Gagu Mbatha-Raw.
Epic fail.
Yeah, epic fail. No disrespect to her. She's a beautiful woman, and she's so I only watched about 30 minutes of this movie, and when I went into it, I was rushing. We got to get a review up. I actually had no idea what the movie was about. I didn't look it up. I didn't go in and see anything about this movie, what was going on. Cause
They trashed this movie though. Like the critic really did trash this movie.
Yeah, the reviews on this movie are pretty bad. I don't know. Like I said, I can't justify that because I only watched the first 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And in the first 30 minutes, they didn't give you a whole lot. Well, maybe I didn't watch the whole. Maybe it wasn't even 30 minutes I've seen, but I know you watched it. Like I said, man, busy. I had to get shit done. I try to fit it in my schedule, yo, and that's like the fault I got. I never was able to get back to it, but you saw it. And I know you sent me a text like, yo, you got to watch the Cloverfield movie. I'm like, I know, I'm behind. So go ahead. So what's your out of 5 on it? Cloverfield Paradox.
I'll go with a 1.
Oh, god damn. A 1? A 1.
It's because they couldn't focus. That's like they had like a short attention span when it came to explaining shit. That's why.
Wow. So
they never gave a good explanation to. They gave an explanation to why certain things were, but the major things like making it make sense, they didn't make it make sense.
So is this movie? Is it happening before the first Cloverfield movie?
This movie is the reason why the first Cloverfield movie and 10 Cloverfield Lane is taking place.
See, that makes sense. That makes sense. I mean, as far as what I noticed, from what I gathered was that the Earth is running out of energy. Supposedly, a lot of blackouts going on.
Mm-hmm. So they can send them out to space.
So they're doing an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And take it from there. What else goes on?
I mean, so they get to space. I guess after I don't know what up to what point that you saw. What point? What was the last stopping point for you?
I ain't gonna. All I remember was her talking to him through her, I guess her husband through like Skype or whatever. And this we made we and we made
Really.
right. That's what I remember. That's what I remember. And going over, and we may go into a little bit of spoiler territory, but let's try our best not to spoil it for people who really want to see this movie. You know, it got a 16% on Rotten Tomatoes right now.
Yeah.
Which is terrible. It is on Netflix.
But the first thing first, though, man, like people have to understand what a paradox is. That word is important.
Yes, it is.
It's like when you contradict yourself, but when like you investigate it or explain it.
Yeah.
So it's like the most absurd thing in the world that's true.
Right. In this movie, don't they give you the answers pretty much where the monster came from?
Monsters, yeah. They give you a hint at where they all came from.
Okay.
So the gist of it is, you know, they go up there, something happens. They don't know why. Like they crash and they're trying to figure out why. And then stuff turns up missing and all kind of shit like that. And then they found a person. They find somebody. Spoiler, but they found somebody in the wall.
In the wall.
And she's like tangled up with these wires going through her skin and shit, and she's screaming.
Wow. Okay, on this spaceship.
Yeah, on that spaceship. So they're like, where the hell she come from? And she knows the girl's name. Her name was Hamilton or Hampton in the movie, and she called her by her name. Like, how the hell she know your name? Like, what the hell is this? Like, you know, so they cut her out, and they realized a lot of little small things are missing, like the worms that they showed in the container earlier are missing, and we got in-house fighting because, you know, you got all these different countries working together. That's another thing.
Right.
They don't trust each other.
Of course. So
they're saying that, the Russians at fault. They had to throw that in there somehow.
Russians are always at fault these days.
Right.
What else is new?
Make sure they get that little nod to what's going on currently. It's a mess. The movie really was all over the place. I'm not going to lie to you.
Right. So I guess it lives up to the name Paradox.
Right, because it's crazy.
So it's absurd. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
But I seen even in previews. Well, not previews, but I think I seen maybe a clip where it was like an arm or some Atom Family shit.
Yeah, all right. It's like the spray stuff. You know that it like if you just spray it across and it fixes anything. But like it can literally fix anything. Like this shit is advanced as hell. Like one part where this guy goes to the machine and he types in gun, it closes down, opens back up, and there's a gun in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they on that kind of shit. So what happens is, I guess whatever it was he was trying to fix, it traps his arm in there.
Oh, okay.
Right, his arms are moving all over the place, and eventually, whatever it is, pulls his arm clean off. Like no blood, no nothing. Like it's clean off, but the arm is still alive.
Okay.
Right, it's crazy. So he didn't even feel no pain. He didn't even flinch. He was like, "Oh, thank y'all for saving me." And they're like, "Dude, your arm is fucking gone." So
I mean, I really, from what you're saying, you don't make me want to go finish this movie. I'll be honest with you. So for the people who listen, is it worth really going to see? I think if you are a fan of Cloverfield movies, I enjoyed the first Cloverfield and Cloverfield Lane.
Yeah, Cloverfield, it was because of the suspense behind it.
It was different. It was new, and I remember when the trailer first dropped for Cloverfield, it didn't give you much. You see, I mean, it's the fact that you see the Statue of Liberty head being thrown pretty much and landed in the middle of the city, and people don't know what the hell is going on. Maybe it's a terrorist attack.
It was a real big deal. Like, the first Cloverfield was a big deal. I remember I was seeing conspiracy videos about what the hell it could be.
Right.
Like, that's how big it was, because that's how new of an idea it was. But this shit here is just like, I understand that you're trying to make it make sense. Maybe it was done like that on purpose. Like, we don't know.
Right. And the first Cloverfield they made a new type of found footage, I guess, if you want to, because it pretty much is found footage. But I guess the elements of having a monster and little creatures that that sprung off of him or her, whatever it is, and attacking people and had people heads blowing up. Uh, so I mean, of course, you saying that this is the worst of the three.
Yeah, because they don't really back, because they cut a lot between his wife and him, because he has the dilemma where he finds a little girl. He's pretty much stuck with her the whole movie.
So he had his own story going on,
and it wasn't really interesting at all, because it's like they don't really give you much. They don't show the girl home being destroyed. They don't show what did it. They just show him pulling up. They're like, oh shit, there's a little girl here. Like, you need to come with me.
So the movie pretty much goes back and forth between them two, and they are the main focus of the movie. Is what you're saying. Like I said, but if you are a fan of Cloverfield and if you want to watch this movie, should people actually sit down and how long is maybe an hour and a half?
Yeah, it's not very long. But look, the thing is, like, they got its moments. Like when they find out where the worms are, that's a moment.
Because I heard the budget wasn't as good. You can tell it's a lot of green screen. I mean, so how do you feel? How you felt about that watching the movie?
I mean, it was shot. I thought it was shot very well. I thought it was shot well. It looked like Netflix. You know what I mean? Like the big budget Netflix. That's what it looked like to me.
Okay. I think people are comparing it to the other two because it is in the I don't guess anthology of it, but the fact that it's on Netflix and Netflix reputation now, they actually comparing their movies to what goes to the theaters.
Right. And it's still J.J. Abrams. It's still him and his company. So it's like it's not really much of a change. It's just Netflix's. His name is on it.
Right. They saying like, well, from what I hear, that this movie they knew they wouldn't do well in theaters, so it went to like the highest bidder, and Netflix was able to buy it and buy the rights to it, and able to stream it. And the fact that they even dropped it, like I say, in a commercial in the Super Bowl, telling you after think about it, they let you know it's gonna be available after the game, not before the game, not during the game, but right after the game. Come over to us, we got you. So
I bet, and they got a lot of eyes on it.
Right, and it's everywhere. I think it's genius marketing on their part. Because I think even though like for the Super Bowl commercial it was like $5 million this year, which is crazy. But if your return is going to be a lot greater, it was worth the investment. So
but the explanation was kind of, good and bad, but they really didn't go too deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I even seen where they were saying like the Earth disappeared. Now
they lost track of the Earth,
which doesn't make any sense. The Earth didn't disappear. You probably moved. The Earth itself couldn't have disappeared.
Yeah. So what happened was two multiverses collided with each other.
What?
Right, it sounds crazy. It like two multiverses collided with each other.
What's for Marvel?
The woman got in the wall.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's like, telling them she's telling people who not to trust and all that, because it's like, I guess they were ahead.
Okay.
And they're saying that whenever the multiverses clash, I guess it happened a couple of times. That's how the monsters got to Earth in the first place.
Okay.
But that's where it kind of stops at, because they never go like explain why they're crashing with each other.
Right, and now, especially when you introduce something like that, now it's kind of like, well, are we going to see the other multiverses? The other Earths and stuff, and what's going on with them? And see, Cloverfield is one of those type of series where you can actually keep going forever because
they make it very open-ended.
Right. You can probably keep going for a long time. At least 7, 8 movies, maybe up to 10 movies in, if you did it right and spread it apart. Maybe every 2 years you do one, but you can't go every year. I think that'd be probably oversaturated. But every 2 years, 2.5 years,
more interesting though.
Right. Right. You got to explain yourself, and tie up some loose ends as you go, because of course, the
I
longer
mean,
you go, the more
because that's a
questions.
dope idea, to be honest.
Yeah. So they actually pull it off, especially what you're saying about this whole multiverse thing, and how the monsters got to Earth, and how we the ones that pretty much fucked up. So
Right.
so you will stick with your 1 out of 5.
Yeah, I got to, because they, like I said, they did not talk. It's a lot of explaining. What they explained, like just enough to satisfy you, but they didn't make it make sense.
Okay.
They kind of dropped the ball on the
And
whole thing.
and just remember, it is Cloverfield paradox. So
Right. So
if you don't know what that means, look up the definition. So with that being said, Kendrick will stick with his 1 out of 5. I may go back and watch it. I think maybe if I'm bored and ain't got nothing to do, I may throw it on just to see for myself what's going on. If you guys out there, if you like Cloverfield, just go check it out. It's Netflix. You really, hit Netflix, the hit and miss. A lot of times it's hit. Sometimes you may get a Cloverfield lane with 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I think that just compared to the bigger blockbusters that was on in the theaters. And it's kind of unfair to the movie.
it is.
But that's the nature of the business. So with that being said, we go ahead and get out of here. If you guys want to reach us, email us at everydaymanpod@gmail.com, or you can head over to our website, theeverydayman.net. You can find all of our content, all of our podcasts, movie reviews like this one, and our news. Head over to SoundCloud and iTunes, Spotify. We'll be on Stitcher, any other podcatcher, The Everydayman Podcast. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Tell a friend. With that being said, we out. Peace.